Shadow rule. How global governance bypasses democracy. While citizens cast votes and believe in the power of democracy, the real levers of control lie elsewhere. In quiet corridors of elite summits, through opaque treaties and private boardrooms, a new system of governance has been erected, one that transcends borders, defies accountability, and legislates over entire populations without their knowledge or consent. Supranational treaties, binding the nation, silencing the citizen. Supranational treaties like the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, TTIP, the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, CETA, or the World Health Organization's Pandemic Treaty, are written in legalese few understand but carry weight more powerful than national law. Once ratified, they bind sovereign states to global rules enforced not by courts of the people, but by arbitration tribunals and unaccountable bureaucrats. These treaties often include investor-state dispute settlement, ISDS clauses, allowing multinational corporations to sue governments for any policy that affects their future profits, even if such policies protect public health, the environment, or local economies. Elected parliaments become powerless before corporate interests enshrined in treaty law. Corporate lobbying, buying the law, silencing the majority democracy, is auctioned to the highest bidder. Lobbyists, often former politicians, roam the halls of Brussels, Washington, and Geneva, writing the very legislation that politicians later sign. Through funding, influence, and blackmail, corporations like BlackRock, Pfizer, Google, and Monsanto shape not just regulations, but entire policy. Agenda's public will is irrelevant, even when overwhelming majorities oppose certain laws, like GMO approvals, data privacy rollbacks, or austerity measures. Lobby-funded institutions push them through, disguised as public interest reforms. The state no longer regulates corporations. It serves them. The rise of unelected institutions, entities like the European Commission, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, WEF, and the United Nations, increasingly act as governing bodies without any electoral legitimacy. They operate through technocratic decrees, expert panels, and global initiatives that become binding via national signatories. The public cannot vote them out. Their decisions affect billions. Their meetings are held behind closed doors. Their allegiances lie not with the people, but with financiers, NGOs, and global conglomerates. This is rule without representation. The convergence of interests, state, corporation, and NGOA new hybrid power structure, is emerging where private corporations, state actors, and non-governmental organizations merge into a single governing apparatus. This global public-private partnership is not accountable to voters, parliaments, or constitutions. The World Economic Forum openly promotes this model through its Great Reset agenda, where CEOs, heads of state, and NGO leaders coordinate policy as equals, outside the boundaries of democracy. The lines blur between philanthropy, profit, and control. Manufactured consent through media and academia to maintain the illusion of legitimacy, global governance is accompanied by a chorus of approval from media conglomerates, think tanks, and university institutions, many of which are funded by the same elite foundations that shape policy. Through propaganda disguised as journalism and doctrine disguised as science, opposition is discredited and dissent marginalized. If the people object, they are labeled populists, conspiracy theorists, or extremists. Debate becomes heresy. A silent coup. Against sovereignty, this is not governance. It is managerial control. It is the replacement of democratic participation with algorithmic nudging, of national interest with global directives, of citizen rights with consumer privileges. The state becomes an enforcer, not a protector. Law becomes a cage, not a shield. The people, misled by elections and distracted by identity politics, remain unaware that their sovereignty has already been signed away, page by page, treaty by treaty, dollar by dollar. Conclusion. Behind the Yao. Curtain of consent. The architecture of global governance is nearly complete. It does not need armies or flags. It does not announce itself with revolutions. It grows like mold in the hidden spaces of bureaucracy, finance, and international law. 2. Dismantle it, we must first name it.